Now, live on WATD, it's the Bethany Builders Podcast, featuring the Bethany Builders crew, Chris Bethany, Steve Burton, Christian Fourier, and Sophia Bethoney. Got questions? Text us at 781-837-4900. Now, here's your host, Sophia Bethony.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bethany Builders Podcast. I'm your host, Sophia Bethony. And I'm joined by my dad and our principal builder, Chris Bethany.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, listening. Let's have a great show.
And special guest, Andrew Stewart. Welcome, Andrew.
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, not for nothing, Sophia, not just Andrew Stewart. Shout out to the building commissioner, our friend Andrew Stewart from the town of Marshfield. And we're beyond excited to have you here, Andrew. With no notice and this big storm coming, we know that you can share a lot of good insight and maybe some tips that can be helpful for homeowners along the coastal community of Marshfield.
Absolutely.
There we go. Sophia?
Andrew, thank you for coming on. Are you ready for the upcoming blizzard?
I don't know that you can ever be fully ready, of course, but we're as prepared as we possibly can be. The town of Marshfield especially does a really good job with our emergency response preparedness. We have an emergency operations center that runs out of the police station here in Marshfield. And we also, our DPW does a really tremendous job of preparing and also during the storm, maintaining the roads, especially I think the main concern tonight is going to be really keeping the emergency routes clear, especially with the amount of snow and as fast as it's going to be coming down. Will be the real priority throughout the night is just making sure that the main emergency routes are cleared. And then I'm sure they're going to have their work cut out for them for the next couple of days, clearing out the main streets. From our perspective, or my perspective, what I'm looking for, what I see a lot of is calls for trees down, falling into houses, ice dams that'll come in the next couple of days. Not so much. We probably won't see so much pipe freezes as we had with the extreme cold that we'd had earlier. But the other thing, especially in Marshfield, that we'll see will be coastal flooding, and for the houses that are right on the water in the velocity zone with the waves, they will see wave impact from rocks being literally thrown out of the ocean. And then we'll see some flooding in a lot of the usual areas around town for sure.
Well, Andrew, not for nothing. Again, beyond grateful to you taking the time out on your Sunday to come and to share all these words of experience and wisdom with our listeners, and to Sophia and I. Being in Marshfield, and of course yourself, I believe, growing up in Stewart, you're right on the coastline. So you see the brunt of these storms. And I know, Andrew, both personally and professionally, you've seen a lot of these come through, the Marshfield Stewart corridor. Can you give us, based on the amount of snow and your updates, like you said, you told us some of the general parameters of what you'd see. Is there any helpful tips that you can think of that are almost, in your opinion, that are things that people can do to try to limit their potential exposure for things that can happen in these type of storms? What are basic things that someone that doesn't have a lot of experience can do? Maybe things like make sure their flashlights have batteries in them. It sounds simplistic, but when you're in the dark and there's no power, you're going to be grateful you have a flashlight.
Completely agree.
Yeah, that's a great point, Chris. Especially with being in a flood zone, when you could be potentially displaced or your house could be completely damaged. We always recommend that people put together kind of an emergency preparedness kit, pack your medication, pack your important documentation, your passport, birth certificate, your home insurance, flood insurance information, all that type of information. Make sure that that's all in a secure bag, a waterproof bag or something like that, that you can easily take with you. in case you do need to evacuate, because we have had plenty of times where people have been in their house and all of a sudden, some sort of wave action has happened that maybe blew a fence apart, that had at every previous storm for the past 30 years had deflected the water down this other street, and this one time now the fence got blown out and all the water and rocks and everything comes pouring through this one direction at the little old house that's been there forever, and now that house has water and rocks running through it. And the people who had assumed this is just going to be like every other storm and it's going to go down the other street, are now running out of there, not knowing what to do before worrying that their house might collapse. It can be pretty harrowing. And in the course of a blizzard, where we could be potentially seeing up to 1.5 to 2 inches of snow an hour, with wind and waves and the noise and the snow. You can imagine if you put yourself there with also floodwaters up to your knees, trying to get out of a house, out of, let's say, Brant Rock, or one of those areas in Marshfield that sees a lot of that kind of overwash from the seawall. I've helped my friends, rescue them out of that area in the past, and it's harrowing. It's confusing, and so you want to be prepared. You want to make sure that you do have these things. I know it sounds silly, and you never think it's going to happen.
Don't sound silly to me, Andrew. We are, Sophia, how lucky are we? And I hope our listeners, how lucky are we to have, very humbly, to have Building Commissioner Andrew Stewart, Town of Marshfield, with us today? Because, Andrew, the things you mentioned,
not everyone thinks of it.
Well, we're having the general discussion on it, but God forbid if it happens to be upon yourself, your family, or your friends, you're giving, number one, you're making people aware of it. Number two, some steps where they can act responsibly to be able to mitigate and, like Sophia, what do you think? Again, get all your documents together and put them in a sealed plastic bag. As simplistic as that sounds, well, if you lose those documents or they're unreadable or unusable,
you're in big trouble.
Well, because everybody's going to be calling their contacts to try to get copies of them. And that can take weeks or months if they get backed up. Shout out to you, Andrew, and shout out to the Marshfield DPW, all your emergency response team. Myself and Sophia were blessed to be able to be part of a group called the Triad, Andrew. We go around to the senior centers. We've been doing it for several years. And Marshfield was one of the stops. Shout out to them. And it involves thank you for your service, District Attorney Tim Cruz, Sheriff Joseph McDonald's office, as well as all the first responders, Andrew. And again, we don't get to know them all by name, but they've attended a bunch of the gatherings we've had at the Council of Aging, and they just do an incredible job. So we want to get ahead of that. Shout out to you and all of the members at DPW and the towns and the first responders. Everybody be safe. Will you actually be on call, Andrew, through this storm time?
Yeah, I mean, technically as the building commissioner, I'm on call 24/7.
Okay.
So anytime, let's just say, somebody late at night is driving and swerves off the road and hits a car, or hits a house or a garage or some sort of structure, I'll get a call to come out and evaluate the structure for structural stability, speak with the homeowners. Same thing for a fire. If we have a fire in the middle of the night, I get called out for that. So tree strikes, flooding, I expect I will be called tonight. So I'm preparing myself for that. Probably taking a nice little nap this afternoon, and
for sure. And then we added,
come back to the office and hang out.
And as you can see, Andrew, thank you, as he was kind to put time aside in his day. As you can see, he's in the office now working hard and preparing to stay ahead of these things. Andrew, just while we're talking here, to yourself, please, everybody, be safe out there. To all our homeowners that are listening, again, I say this humbly to you, with you growing up in Stewart and being the building commissioner of Marshfield, we are so lucky to have you on today. So thank you for taking time out with no notice, guys.
Thank
just
you,
knowing
Andrew.
the importance of this large storm that's coming. And Andrew, in all fairness, I don't I don't. And again, as you know, we have contacts with shout out WBZ, CBS Boston, the weather folks there. Nobody knows truly how big this storm can be and what the impacts can be with the coastal conditions with and storm surge and so forth.
You're absolutely right. And then, couple that with the amount of snow and then the potential wetness because of the warmth of the air. We've had a lot of snow this winter, but it's been dry snow because most of the time when it's snowed at volume, it's been, in the teens
Mm-hmm.
when it's snowed. So the snow's been fluffy, airy, it's blown around, it's drifted. This snow has the potential to be wet, and that is where you're going to get your added loads onto
Mm-hmm.
your building, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is why it's so important when we're talking construction that you are building your decks properly, you're building
Mm-hmm.
your additions properly, you're building your houses properly
Mm-hmm.
with all the correct framing materials, the correct hardware, and
Mm-hmm.
installation of that hardware properly so that you're going to be able to withstand the loads that come with a blizzard with 2 feet of wet, potentially wet
Incredible.
out
Mm-hmm.
there,
So
right?
right. Yeah.
And
And
and then potential hurricane winds to add to that, Andrew, which they have concerns about super high winds. So never to
Mhm.
interrupt Andrew, Sophia, but where Andrew's going with this is just what he had said. That heavy, sticky snow on the trees, a soft ground. You don't need the branches to even break. These trees can just lay over in their entirety, and the weight is tons of compressive weight, and the force coming to the ground on people's homes. Andrew, we've been involved on some projects where we've rebuilt where full trees have went through the roof sections of homes, and they were actually featured on the news. We did a rebuild in Duxbury for a retired state trooper, Nick, at
Mhm.
his home, and this is serious stuff. It's scary and it's dangerous, so you need to be as prepared as possible. And Andrew Stewart's given us some incredible tips.
one good thing too to think about, I know it might not be appealing to a lot of people. Tomorrow morning, it will be important early in the morning, get out there, evaluate what your roof looks like, how much snow is actually on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it may be worth getting out there and doing a shovel or
Mm-hmm.
trying to get some of the snow off of the roof in some of the more problem spots or heavily
Mm-hmm.
laden spots before you get another round of snow throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is supposed to start, I believe, around midnight or 1 or 2 in the morning. It's supposed to get pretty heavy pretty fast, and then so at some point in the morning, it might be good for people to get out there, kind of shovel some of that snow off. If you have a roof that is susceptible to building up a lot of snow in spots that
Mm-hmm.
could have the potential to form ice dams or just a weight issue if it's an older roof or something like that. It's important to get out there and get that addressed, especially those long, roof
For sure.
clearing
Yeah. Yeah.
devices are awesome.
And Andrew, never to I'm gonna put this question on myself. I'm gonna question and answer it myself to keep it where Andrew is so kind again, but as a building official for the town and communities. But I'll put something out there, folks. If you're gonna, there's a lot of people working very hard. Companies seem to be advertising very heavily to clear snow off your roof section. Two things I would recommend, I believe, as a responsible building contractor would be this: if you are going to engage to hire someone, make sure they have the proper insurances. If they have workers or employees, you want to make sure that they have workers' compensation insurance. It's a very dangerous task they potentially could take on. The other thing is, and if they do go up, you want to see a full set of what we refer to as fall protection and safety equipment in place so that while they're up there doing an important task, they also are doing it safely, and also they're doing it to make sure that the coverage is in place because accidents do happen in the construction industry, especially during a time like a blizzard or something similar. Would you guys agree?
Completely agree.
I
This.
would absolutely agree. Yeah. There's, obviously in times like this, there's the potential for, you know, a lot of just random guys
Mm,
doing cash jobs real quick, go clear your roof for you.
yeah.
That sounds great. It's quick, it's cheap, but it has the potential to really bite you if
Yes,
if there was an accident.
sure.
And there's such a potential for accidents in a
Hmm.
situation like this, right?
Of course. My goodness, Andrew, over the years, I can't tell you, and I think of people that have called us for just construction services, and then they decided on their own, they took a go at it, which we support and respect, but, a ladder can slip out, or they just things that professionals that are really committed to the trades will know to put certain safety features in place to avoid things like, ladders, the bottoms kicking out, or, just putting a ladder up on a gutter's edge, especially during snowy and icy times. That's not enough. You really got to make sure that you're secured, fall protection, and follow those rules for a safe and successful result. We don't want to see anybody obviously ever get hurt, and more importantly, or worse,
Yeah.
So, but we're going to be all positive, and I'm excited. We have our first caller today, guys, and it's Jesse. Can you pass our caller through, and who might it be?
Sorry, lost my mic button. I sure can. Yeah, we have Donna on the line. Hello, Donna.
Hi, Donna.
Hi there. How are you today?
Oh my goodness, I recognize your voice because we've been friends for decades. Guys, I want to introduce our caller and a longtime friend and someone I do business with and I respect. And guys, we got Donna Wood from Sotheby's International Real Estate here in Duxbury. But I mean, that's just too soft of an intro. Donna, you're a past president, of course, of the Southshore Realtors Association. And Donna, I'm going to, if you don't mind, please don't be embarrassed with this. My understanding is, Donna, haven't you been number one and or two in volume for a very long time here in the South Shore of homes sold and helping buyers? The reason I mention that is, Donna, you've helped a lot of families be successful in their transition of their housing here in the South Shore.
Well, thank you for that introduction. But I have a question for you.
Okay.
And my question is, as a real estate agent, I'm curious, how much flexibility do homeowners have with your ADU designs?
Mm-hmm.
Can they tailor the layout and exterior so the unit really complements the primary home?
Yeah, I'll take lead and then Sophia can echo in on that. And then of course, Andrew's our pro as well. And all three of us will take a whack at this. Donna, first and foremost, yes, the build out in the project is focused on the wants and needs of the customer. So we do semi-custom / custom ADUs. That's really our wheelhouse. And to answer your question, our customers come first, whatever they would like to accomplish. If we can keep it in a by right use under interior living space under 900 square feet, that makes it so that it's a by right use, and it would streamline the permitting process depending which community it is. They do have what they've layered for what they require. Some decisions are done within the building department and they circulate to the town boards or the town offices as needed, where other communities, in fact, have layered it, where you do, in fact, need to go to the planning board and or the zoning board of appeals so they can have a look at it and layer it with caveats of what they want, as well as board of health and septic or town sewer tie-ins on how they want to deal with that. Sophia, you want to take next and then you'll pass the ball to Andrew?
Just to add on to that, every single customer has their own wants and needs, and we here at Bethany Builders, we work to support those customers. I do the design plans, and I've seen a lot of different styles that we are here to help customers with.
Yes,
so these projects can vary, and we're here to help.
There you go. And let's shoot it over to Andrew. Andrew's our pro.
Andrew, what do you
your
have to
thoughts?
say?
Sure. Yeah, Sophia, I'd say that at least in Marshfield here, we don't have any special regulations or any boards that have to look especially at ADUs. So we treat it as a by right use unless it's a non-conforming structure that you're going to be altering or extending. That's the only time you would have to go to the zoning board of appeals. But you would have to do that for any non-conforming structure that you're altering or extending. And that was kind of the point. It was going to be treated the same way as any other residential single family or accessory building in Marshfield was how we were looking at it. Now, our neighboring communities, not so much. I know the planning boards are involved in Duxbury and in Situate, but at least in Marshfield, we've been treating it like that. And, really for us, the more restrictive aspects of it have been the standard things in Marshfield: flood zones, Conservation Commission, Title V, and protection of the aquifers.
Donna, that's three of the best that we have here at Bethany Builders. Again, we're throwing our arm around Andrew Stewart, building commissioner in Marshfield, who's a great friend and a common special guest here at the Bethany Builders podcast. He does nothing but help, and shout out to his group over there for streamlining the process. And my personal opinion, Andrew, Donna, and Sophia, and our listeners, is that's consistent within the spirit of the legislation and the movement to try to get these ADUs and this housing options up as reasonably as fast as possible. Of course, paying attention to the importance of staying consistent with what the town's or the community's interests are as well. So, Donna, does that help?
That helps a lot. We've had a lot of inquiries recently about ADU units and how they impact the value of the property. So obviously the aesthetic part of it is really important to make it blend with the existing structure. So knowing that you can customize these to a certain degree, I think is really important because they need to blend in with the rest of the property. So I really appreciate your taking the time to answer the question.
Well, that's a great question, Donna. But I think most important, the message would be is that here at Bethany Builders, from a building company point of view, and Sophia Bethoney being our principal designer and now a licensed construction supervisor herself, our customers come first. Their wants and needs come first. We're there to custom or semi-custom a design that fits what they want. The only thing that we need to, where we stay firm on, is it has to be 10th edition code compliant, as well as long as any and all safety issues within the plan are maintained, then we're willing to get behind those efforts.
Great.
Yeah. But Donna, you didn't answer my question. Past president of the Southshore Board of Realtors, and Donna, humbly, I know you're not one to take a pat on the back, but you've helped quite a lot of families here in the South Shore. Let me shout out, including the Bethany family, when we secured our house lot back in 2015 to build our new home. So thank you, Donna Wood. What do you say, Sophia?
Thank you, Donna.
And shout out Lisbon.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a wonderful journey, and I have a lot of wonderful people that I've met over the years by assisting them in buying and selling. So, including the Bethany family.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Thank you.
Donna, how are you preparing for the upcoming snowstorm?
Oh my goodness. I am doing what everybody else is doing, just making sure that I have all of my ducks in a row. Fortunately, I'm in a structure that we just renovated, so I'm not terribly concerned about the weight of the snow. Mm-hmm. But as I was listening before I came on the line, it's all about safety and being smart and not doing anything foolish when the roads are not good, and staying home and hopefully staying warm with power.
Yeah, I like that, staying home. And you know what? We're going to go around the horn here. Now we're going to have some fun. We call her the mom here on the Bethany Builders podcast. Alina Bethany decided to pose a question back to all four of us. During the snowstorm and the blizzard, when you're in and you're looking outside and all the snow's falling, all right, Donna, what's your go-to snack?
Oh, gosh. Oh, you're really putting me on the spot.
It's Alina's fault.
I'll blame her. I don't really have a go-to snack. I'm a big tea drinker with honey, so that's my that's my safety net.
I like that.
Me as well. Okay, what kind of tea though?
What kind of tea? Usually chamomile.
Okay.
What about you, Sophia? What's your tea?
Ooh.
We're not
I
letting them. We're not letting them off the hook here, folks. Donna, like you say, Donna posed a question that put good challenge to Andrew, Sophia, and Chris. So that's all right. We had to catch her off guard with a food question.
Okay, I like any kind of tea, but I really like ginger peach.
All right, all right. What do you think, Andrew? What's your go-to snack for you and your family?
Oh, I'm a Triscuit and port cheddar cheese spread guy.
Okay, see, all right, here we go. I would have never thought that. So wait a minute, Sophia, let's give it up. Shout out to Andrew with the snack. He gets the uniqueness award. That's fantastic, you know. And Donna, like I say, can't even begin to thank you. We were so honored to see you as a guest and participant in the at the center, the former Duxbury Senior Center last week. There's a picture circulating of you, Sophia, and I at that ADU presentation. And actually, if anybody's listening, we're going to be uploading a reduced version of that presentation just to keep it time sensitive. It's approximately 13 minutes. That will go up on the Bethany Builders podcast YouTube channel, and we'll post it on social media that people can watch it. We find that's informative. It was a live presentation, and I think it's informative. It tells some of the basics. I'm looking forward to our professional building commissioner of Marshfield, Andrew Stewart, and our realtor professional, Donna Wood, to both take a look at that. Let me know what you liked about it, where we could improve on it, because we've been asked to attend. Sophia, I think, what is it? We're going to go 12 or 14 other speaking engagements in senior centers about the accessory dwelling units here in Massachusetts.
That is true. Everyone wants to know about these ADUs.
There we go. And I'm humbled to ask. I'm going to reach out to, again, our realtor professional, Donna Wood, as well as our building commissioner professional, Andrew Stewart, that at times see if they find that they can attend and speak their expertise and be helpful. Our goal is to inform the public, to help people moving along. I have a saying, while here at Bethany Builders, we'd love to engage your business, but we're more than willing to just earn your respect and friendship. If the business takes place, that's fantastic, but we're more interested in people here in the Southshore being successful on their building projects. It's a serious thing. There's a lot of money involved, and it's about setting themselves and their families up moving forth for years to come. It's not about, we're secondary. Our customers are primary, guys.
And we always prioritize quality over quantity. So keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. Jeez. Donna and Andrew and our listeners, we always have to poke out the Bethany Builders, the company and the flag here, so we can stay on the air and gas up the trucks and have a job, essentially. And that takes place because of good friends, both here on the air with us and the listeners here, which many of them are customers and, more importantly, are friendships to us. And so people who are listening, there's a professional respect. We always stay arm lengths, and I continue to learn. I could tell you overall, I went and permitted a project in Marshfield a little bit ago, had submitted something. We worked very hard. I needed to be given a little guidance on an insulation upgrade, working with Shout Out Map Insulation on how to approach that in the basement. I was taught something. Again, even after 36 years, you're going to learn. This 10th edition building code and the energy code amendments here in Massachusetts continue to change. So shout out to you, Andrew. You gave me good wisdom, good guidance, but it was done in a way that allowed me to continue forward with good efforts to have an excellent finished product for our customers. But again, continue to learn. And that's how it goes. I shout out, as we have Andrew Stewart, Marshfield Building Commissioner, as our guest. We maintain that professional line, guidance and learning. And again, we're so excited here because our daughter, Sophia Bethoney, just recently was able to secure her unrestricted mass construction supervisor's license. And the day before, my wife and mom here on the show, Alina Bethoney, was able to secure her unrestricted construction supervisor's license. So, Andrew, you got 3 Bethoneys. I don't know who you'll see from time to time. They're all going to be coming to the counter.
Hopefully all 3 of you will make your appearance.
So. That means we have a job, Andrew. So we're grateful to have a job. And Donna, can you tell us what you expect to see in the real estate markets? Of course, we'll get on the other side of this storm. and then God's will, the weather will start to warm up, and we'll get into March, and here comes movement in the real estate markets. What do you intend to see? I know that prices are still strong. Rates are moving around, hopefully continuing to fall so that everybody can maybe make some moves. I think the closer they can get, the interest rates can get down towards a 5. People with rates of 3+% might consider to make a change. What do you see in that market?
Oh gosh, I wish I had a crystal ball. I do see there's a lot of demand out there. There's a lot of people who want to live on the South Shore. We're continuing to see multiple offer situations,
Okay.
which is great for sellers, but very frustrating for the buyer public.
Okay.
Uh,
Is it still a
interest
seller's
rate-
market, Donna? Donna, is it still,
Oh,
would you deem it as still
definitely.
a seller's market? It is? Okay.
Very strong seller's market. I mean,
Okay.
there are a couple of houses that came on this weekend that have been just a revolving door.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where interest rates are going. In my long career, I have not seen them at these levels. Obviously, it took a long time to get them back down to this level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not an economist, but
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people are struggling with the idea of giving up their 2 or 3% mortgages. So
Mm-hmm.
having the rates come down is going to help a little bit, but as I say, I guess if I had all the answers, I would be probably on the front page of the Wall Street Journal telling you all my thoughts. But
well, Donna, I'll tell you, never to interrupt you. I'll tell you, for you to say that, and I say that because you've helped so many families, including ours here in the South Shore. It shows. Is it fair to say, Donna, how many times over your professional career have you seen situations like this where you generally just don't have a lot of the answers due to the financial marketplace and the housing costs? It's a complex question, huh, Donna? Donna, you gave us that complex question earlier for me, Andrew, and Sophia. So we're kind of giving it back on air here to our friend Donna Wood. I'm sorry, Donna, go ahead.
No, that's right. I don't think there are any easy answers. I will say, though, that having done this for many decades, this has been, I think, the most challenging market that I've ever experienced because there doesn't seem to be a way to change it. In the past, I've lived through markets where mortgage rates were at 18%. When I began my career, rates were under 5%. And I've kind of seen everything in the middle, but we now have great demand for South Shore properties, understandably, because it's such a special place to live. And of course, technology has made the information available to more people than it used to be able to reach.
That is true.
So,
wow.
It's really, when you think about that, when we had houses on the market in the past, the people who knew about it was fairly limited. But now we've got people who are able to look at real estate markets from halfway around the world. So it's challenging. And obviously, I'm not Sophia's age, so the whole technology world is something I've lived through. I've lived through its growth, but I'm not as tech savvy as Sophia's generation by any stretch of the imagination, because I didn't learn it at an early age. It just wasn't there.
Well, Donna, we have an interesting thing I want to bring up, and I'm going to touch subject with it because I'm going to touch it quickly and get off it. But So we had questions, not many, but and there's no. I'll mention this parameter. So Sophia, as we know, and was able to celebrate at the age of 18 to take her licensing exam. I'm going to put something out there, and Andrew, you're hearing with the ears open of it in a good way. Here's the deal. A little bit of background. So my wife, Alina, grew up in Ukraine, but was actually born in a different country. And because of different, without getting too deep into it, religious and things that took place, ended up moving to the country of Ukraine when she was a very young person, maybe 7 to 8 years old. And at that time, when she was sent because she had to move or be basically locked within a country, basically went there and has been working since she's about 8 years old. She was doing the healthcare, taking care of her grandmother. It was just two of them, and her grandmother was disabled. So my wife, Alina, grew up working legitimately. You have an 8-year-old taking care of an adult that's the only person there. It's a different life abroad. So Alina lived through the Orange Revolution, shout out, when the separation of the Soviet Union. So she's been exposed to working as a very young person. So here's where I'm going with this. Those values were instilled in our daughter, Sophia. We run a family business. Myself, I had some healthcare challenges that were pretty serious. And at a certain point, I said, hey, thank God I was able to get on the other side of them. But at that time, my wife and my daughter, we had to sit down and say, well, what do you want to do with our business? It's a great brand, but dad might not be able to work it the way he can due to some health conditions. We might have to sell it, everything else. So my point, what happened was at a very young age, Sophia was posed with, it's either all hands on deck for a small family business, or we run the risk that that business will be challenged or maybe could have been sold 10, 12 years ago. Okay. So Sophia at a young age, Alina grew up that you went to school, came home, did your homework, had something to eat. You work a full-time job. That's the cultural difference from abroad. I share this with you, Andrew, so we can share it. People had questions, and I didn't. We're about educating. We're never about embarrassing or setting someone up when we already have the answers to the question. Okay. So here's the deal. Sophia and us, my wife, Alina, doing all those different things and being raised that way, we instilled that in Sophia. And I remember Sophia, she's always been on dad's hip. We've been building homes. During the way, Sophia had a passion for construction. She's been in front of probably 12 building officials and commissioners for many years in the areas we service. And they've seen her running sill plates on new construction homes, screw guns in hand, selecting, designing, all the things that are necessary, and ultimately established north of 3 years of full-time work on top of her school. Now, we're telling you when we're conscientious of that, when we determined that was going to be the case, you got a little bit of background, and I'm going to be careful. I'm just putting it out there. My wife, Alina, humbly speaking, law degrees. I'm going to be frank. She ain't going to like this. My wife, Alina's a 4.0 student. She's a Harvard finance grad. She's way up there with a law degree and 2 masters. And we're talking Harvard and everything else. Sophia herself doing Harvard courses in the 10th grade, securing an A- and a B- with adult classes. Sophia, is that accurate? On top of your high school work?
Thank you, Dad.
There's a reason for this, guys.
Father,
No, I'm a proud father, but
husband.
what I'm doing on the air is I'm establishing the truth that Sophia clearly worked, and we paid attention to it, of 3+ years of full-time employment on top of her school, which she honorably stands forth to do that. And she's excited to become part of our associations and boards. I want to get it out there. So there is no question on it. The point is where I'm going with, like Donna said, global technology has changed and work ethic from abroad. And I'm all USA. Shout out to the USA hockey team, men and women's, for the gold medal. But we're proud Americans here. But Sophia's background is from Europe and from Ukraine. Her mom had taught her over here at Bethany Builders, our family business. Sophia's been working full-time 3+ years. We paid attention to document that because we knew what Sophia's goal and objective was to take her exam at 18. And we just want it out there because there was a couple people that had questions. How do you do that? Now, the opportunity and the rules and regs in place to do that, but they realize it's just so rare and unique that somebody doesn't do that. But so we answer that question in a public forum. It was done recognizing what Sophia's goals were and recognizing it was originally done out of necessity, but in fact, we pay close attention to the rules and regs. Our goal is then, Sophia says, well, I was able to accomplish that and get recognition as a young person doing that. we're going to share those skill sets with other young people who are the future, because the bottom line is that the trades are expanding and we want all of the local kids up and coming to recognize that. And you're going to help people do that, Sophia?
Yeah,
It's
we
not a-
want to educate others. We want to
Absolutely.
inspire others, educate them.
That's it.
Pursue more hands-on work, including construction. It's very important that we have those people, especially as Donna, as you said, with the evolution of technology, not everyone is going to look to do those hands-on jobs that we need in order for our society to grow.
Our workforce is shrunken and it needs to be expanded, and the trade schools are doing a tremendous job. We're actually scheduled to go to the Southshore Vocational Tech to talk to other students and this and that. Listen, Sophia Bethoney being 18 has accomplished an incredible goal, but that's only the beginning, Andrew. The real skill set and talent is Sophia. How many other up-and-coming kids, both boys and girls in the trade school, can you help inspire? They can call you, help them be successful. You're one person, but if you could help one is great. Anything more than that's incredible. But why not help hundreds of kids follow that journey? Give them the blueprint, whether they want to exercise it or not. Give back. It's not about you. It's about others. We have a rule here, Andrew and Donna. For every blessing we receive, what is that answer, Sophia?
We give back trifold.
Trifold, explain that. That's 3 to 1, right?
3-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
It means that for every blessing we receive, we work our hardest to give back to the community and those who need it most.
So bottom line is that bare minimum, Sophia has to inspire bare minimum 3 other students to come, maybe do what you were able to accomplish. And I'm sure that we can reach out to Andrew Stewart, who's an incredible, not only building commissioner, leader in the community, as well as a great dad. He understands that. And Donna, we know, so proud of you and your family. Shout out to your son and your family. Let them know that we pulled you out on a Sunday at the Bethany Builders podcast ahead of the storm.
Well, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for all of your wonderful guidance and information.
I had to get it out there on Sophia's thing. There was a couple of folks that had asked an honest question, and that's a great question. We wanted to use our platform to share that Sophia followed the rules, followed the regs, the public to be aware that that ability for others to do that is there, but you have to start early, and it's a lot of hours. Wouldn't you agree, Sophia?
It is a lot of hard work and dedication, but as you said, we followed all the rules, and I did pass my test.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
Andrew, 22% pass rate with PSI on the first go on that test. It used to be, I think, with Pro Metrics or whatever company had it before, it was 57%. My understanding is the state's in the process of rewriting some of the testing criteria because, number one, there's some questions that are a little bit concerning if they apply. Number two, there's extra questions on that exam. As you know, Andrew, that, Sophia was prepared to do an exam, I think was about 74, 75 questions, when in fact it went 80 plus questions, Andrew, that you get no credit for, yet it cuts into the time you have allotted for the questions that are on the exam. So I'm pretty sure, I think that they're in the process of adjusting that now, and we'll see how that goes. Sophia, you're going to thank our guests and take us out?
Well, thank you so much for listening to the Bethany Builders podcast. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube and Facebook. I'm your host, Sophia Bethoney. I want to thank my dad and our principal builder, Chris Bethoney, and building commissioner, Andrew Stewart, our special guest. Thank you so much for coming on.
Donna Wood.
Oh, and Donna Wood as well.
Give me shout out to Andrew and Donna. And you want to thank our sponsors on the way out, Sophia?
We want to thank Trex Decking, Min Lumber, Northeastern Savings Bank, Connor Hegney's Auto Detailing Services, Bethany Builders, and AD of Massachusetts, and 95.9 WATD.
Congratulations, USA, all the athletes in the Olympics. God bless America. The next thing we want to do is, again, Andrew Stewart, Donna Wood on No Notice. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Everybody, all of our listeners, stay safe with this storm upcoming, and we'll see you all on Tuesday night.
Stay
Take
warm.
care. 7 to 8 p.m. Tuesday night, WATD, guys.